Hi, my name is Shari White. My pronouns are she and her. I'm originally from Australia and I'm a skateboarder and filmmaker living in Vancouver, Canada. In these videos, you're going to meet some friends from our scene who all film and make skateboard edits, and they're going to share with you some stuff they've learned about filming. Filming is kind of like skating in that it takes a lot of practice, and I pretty much figure out or learn something new every time I film. No one's claiming to be experts, and we definitely won't be able to cover everything, but hopefully there's some stuff in here to help get you started. So with us we have Abbi Teixeira from New York, Adelaide Norris from Melbourne, Australia, Una Farah from Vancouver, Canada, and Reina Chodo, who's in Oakland. Thanks everyone for being here. I hope you enjoy the videos.
Hey guys, my name is Abbi Teixeira. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a skateboarder and filmmaker living in Brooklyn, New York. So every time you film, you're going to need to set up your camera. And learning how to get the colors and the focus and lighting correctly, it's going to take a lot of trial and error, but the more you do it, the more you learn from it. So hopefully these next tips will help you get started. Also, every camera is different. I personally use a VX2000, but whatever you have, you'll just want to know how to adjust all your settings on it. And it's good to know that the two most popular filming styles in skateboarding are with a fisheye lens and long lens. And long lens just basically means that you're not using a fisheye. I'm about to give you guys a lot of important terms, so I'd recommend taking some notes. Things to adjust before filming are shutter speed, aperture, ISO or dB gain, focus, white balance, volume and sound, and steady shot or image stabilization. You might not be super familiar with these terms, so just check out the PDF that we created that goes over all the terms and their definitions. So the first thing you want to do when you get to a spot is adjust the camera settings for the lighting. So on a normal day, you can leave your ISO at 100 or dB at 0. For shutter, on a normal day, you'd probably want to shoot around 250 to 500, but if it's in the evening or dark shade, as low as 90. For aperture, on a normal sunny day, you'd probably have it set around 8, but if it's in the evening or dark shade, as low as 4. Ideally, you don't really want to go lower than 4 because you won't have a good focus range, but if it's low light and you can't get a good exposure with the lowest shutter and aperture settings, you might have to take out your light and start adjusting the ISO or dB gain. If you're super new to filming, I'd recommend just keeping it to day footage for right now, just until you're super comfortable manipulating your own settings. For focusing long lens, if you have a camera with a high quality autofocus, you can try using that. Otherwise, with an older camera like a VX, you'll probably want to use manual and just adjust the focus range to the spot depending on your distance from it. For focusing fisheye, you definitely don't want to use autofocus at all because when you're skating and moving, it's just not going to adjust well. On a VX, you typically want to get really close to your subject, so just make sure it's set to the closest focus. And you're going to want to check your focus before every try or just pretty often because it's usually really easy to get it bumped. And also, I usually bump the zoom a lot too, just how the VX is set up. And I like to check that a lot too, just to make sure. Most people adjust the white balance by pressing the set button on any white object, such as like your friend's t-shirt or like a wall. For HD, there's a lot of auto white balance settings that you can use, and you could just adjust it later in post if you want. Make sure you do tests with your volume and sound before filming too much. Sometimes when you're filming fisheye on rough ground, the audio can get blown out and it might be unfixable. If you're filming long lens and you're really far away from your skater, you might want to adjust your levels higher. Every camera is different, so it's just going to be a lot of trial and error with these things. One really last important thing to remember is your steady shot on your VX, or other known as image stabilization. This is a great thing to turn on when you're filming long lens because it'll help reduce your shaky footage. When you're filming fisheye, you usually want to take this off because the camera will be constantly adjusting and it's going to warp the footage a little bit and make the VIG move around and it's going to look a little sloppy. The more you film, the more you learn from mistakes, and naturally, you'll just get better at adjusting your settings to get the best image and sound. So to wrap this all up, the key settings you want to adjust are shutter speed, aperture, ISO or dB gain, focus, white balance, volume and sound, and steady shot or image stabilization. If you know anyone that films skateboarding, ask them questions because it's really good to get first-hand knowledge, and definitely research your camera as much as you can.
Hey everyone, my name is Adelaide. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a skateboarder and filmer living in Melbourne, Australia. You have two options where you don't need to be moving or on a board, which is great if you're not confident at rolling and still want to film. First option is long lens. Pretty much means you haven't got a fisheye on your camera, or wide angle lens, and typically you're standing further back from the skateboarder compared to when you're real close to the skateboarder when you have a fisheye. When you're getting ready to film, you have to figure out a couple of things first. The spot, the trick they are doing, and if they're goofy or regular. If you're not sure, ask them their stance. When you're figuring out the angle, it's usually best to have the front of the skateboarder facing the camera and to avoid the butt shot, but it's sometimes impossible to avoid. Your best bet is to move around the spot while looking through your camera. Ask the skateboarder to run you through the trick to figure out what makes the trick and the spot look its steepest and biggest, while keeping in mind you want the viewer to be able to see where the skater started and where the skater ends up. When you've picked your spot you're going to film from, consider if the trick needs zoom or not. I'm someone that loves zoom, but too much and you can't see what's going on. But if you're too far back, the trick may seem boring and the viewer might feel kind of out of it. It's okay to cut heads at some points, but you always want to avoid cutting out the feet during a trick. Now to fisheye. Same thing goes with the setup of making the spot look big and meaty, while also getting the beginning and the ending of the skateboarder's trick. A good idea is to look through your viewfinder while mapping out where you're starting and ending the filming. Ask the skater to move around at the key spots of the trick and figure out the flow of the camera to keep them in frame while also getting a good angle. Hot tip. Try and make them enter from one side of the frame and exit out of the other. This gives them more of a speedy look. Some people film spots while looking through the viewfinder, but at most times it's best without because it gives you a more fluid motion if you don't have the camera attached to your face. It's also great to watch back your clips and review them to try and learn from your mistakes, such as too close, too far, high or low. Your friends should be patient and start considering you're doing them a favor by filming them.
Yeah.
Woo!
Hello, my name is Una Farrar and my pronouns are she and her. I'm a skateboarder and filmmaker from Victoria and living in Vancouver, BC, Canada. In this segment, we're going to learn how to be filming lines with a fisheye. So as the filmer, you're going to be on a skateboard riding alongside the skateboarder. It's pretty important to be comfortable on your skateboard. It'll make filming the lines a lot easier. First tip for filming lines. Before you even start filming the line, know your range of fisheye and camera. So have your skater stand in front of you and see how close you can get to them before cutting them out of the frame. It's important to have the angle that's low and pointing high when you're filming a line. So you want to hold your camera low and point for their upper legs or waist. Looking through the lens before you film the line helps avoid unintentional head cuts or feet cuts while you're filming. A good practice when you're filming lines is to run through the line with your skater prior to them trying it. This way you know where they're going to go and what tricks they want to try. This can help you anticipate how you're going to film the start, middle, and end of the line. Let's say, for example, the last trick of the line. Do you want to keep rolling with them after they land it, or would you like to stop at the obstacle and they keep going? If possible, when you're filming a line, try to avoid the notorious butt shot. This means filming the line from the back side of the skater as opposed to the front. It's not always possible to stay on the front side of the skater, but trying to do the best you can is important. Some lines are harder to film than others. Some include popping up and down curbs while you're filming or trying to take a really sharp angle and keep the camera rolling smoothly. This isn't always possible, but it's best to start filming with maybe the simpler lines so you can get a hang of the fundamentals and then take that to the harder lines later. Even some of the best filmmakers make mistakes. Sometimes filmers fall while they're filming the line, or the line's out of focus, or they can't keep up to their skater because they're going too fast.
Shit. Sometimes you hit the lens.
A lot of these things are avoidable with good communication with your skateboarder and filmer, but sometimes they're unavoidable. It's important to just do your best. A cool thing about skateboarding is that no two filmers and no two skateboarders are the same. So everyone's videos and skating is going to be different. An easy way to learn more about filming skateboarding is by watching skate videos and trying to imagine putting yourself in the shoes of that filmer. How they position themselves, what angles they used, techniques. So it's a bit of a trial and error process, and don't beat yourself up if you don't get it right the first time because we're all learning. So get out there, go filming, document it, and I'm excited to see what everyone creates.
Hey, my name is Reina. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them.
I am a skateboarder and a filmmaker from Seattle, Washington, living in Oakland, California. I'm going to give you all a basic rundown on importing and editing and also some of my inspirations with filming. I film on a Sony Hi8 camera and use Hi8 tapes to record. When I import my tapes, I connect my camera to my laptop using a connector called Top Longer, and I use a software called EasyCap to capture the footage from the tape. If you film with a mini DV tape, it'll be a similar process, but you'll probably have a different cord. If you film with HD, it'll be a lot easier. You'll probably have an SD card and you can just drag the clips from the card straight to your computer. When I'm saving the files, I make sure to create a new folder and save each clip by skater, project, or location. This helps me stay organized so I know which clips to use and where I want to start editing later on. My camera shoots in the aspect ratio 4:3 with a resolution of 720 by 480. And I use that for editing, but even if your camera shoots in one ratio, you can still crop and edit in another ratio. Once the footage is uploaded onto my computer, I will open up the folder and drag the clips into the timeline of Premiere Pro. I go through and cut and organize by color. I tend to organize by makes, B-roll, or text. If there are multiple skaters, each skater will have a color. I'll try to cut and trim as much as possible. I will also start to move clips around and usually have to adjust and trim even more during this process just to make sure that everything flows nicely. When most of the clips are adjusted, I will try to choose a song. I usually have a couple of songs already in mind, and I'll drop them into the timeline to play around with the timing. Once I do choose a song, I usually have to adjust and move clips around just to make sure that it matches with the song. A tip I've learned to make tricks exciting is having pops and lands hitting the beat. Once I'm happy with most of my edit, I like to see if there are any clips that need any brightness or color correction. I actually have a saved preset for my Hi8 as a lot of the footage can look pretty dull. To add, I select all and drag over all of the clips. This edit corrects the color, brightness, and contrast. If most of the footage looks good, then I'll just choose certain clips that are darker or too exposed, and I'll edit as needed. When editing, I love layering clips to show more B-roll footage. Some of their editing tools to research are effects, using transitions, creating titles, and how to slow-mo a clip. These can all be different depending on what program you use. My biggest inspirations for filming are meeting new people. I love giving people opportunities to film, and I also love seeing people's skate progressions. I love filming my community, and I love bringing people together.
Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos and learned some stuff. For me, filming really clicked when I started filming the Skate Witches video seriously. I think having a project to be excited about just really helped keep me filming.
Yo!
And hopefully by picking up a camera you can make some connections with people in your community and maybe have something to create and be excited about with your friends.
Yes, Abbi!